Most people don't know what it's like to be homeless. They don't know what it's like to not have a home, to have heat, to have food, to have a door, to have a bed. It's things you don't think about, and it's crushing when you really try to think about what life might be like if you didn't have everything that you're fortunate enough to have. Housing Works is an amazing organization. I am the director of people, part of the people operations team. We really strive at Housing Works to make sure the culture is right for the community that we're serving. It's really important to make sure that the people that we're hiring, the staff that's coming in, reflect the community and the clients that we serve and are relatable. I think one of the most important things I say to folks is, I want to make sure your personal values and mission align with the company and organization's mission and values. You really have to care about the work that we're doing, or else it's not going to work. You have to have a passion. It's a really underserved population. They're very vulnerable and they've been through so much. And so the work is important, and it's a lot of work. It's heavy lifting, but it matters. And I have been there for 5 years now, and people ask, like, why do I stay? And a lot of people want to help and are like, I'd love to donate a nonprofit, but I really see the work that we do. Clients come in and tell us their stories. They've been homeless for years. They were on drugs. Their family have abandoned them for whatever their personal life choices are. And then they found Housing Works, and they had a second chance at life. And it makes you warm inside. It makes you want to cry. A lot of people were homeless on drugs, found our programs, went through some vocational, went to school, and 20% of our staff are clients who have come from our programs and are now employees and social workers and are clean and sober, and I think the other really important part about Housing Works is we're here to meet you where you're at. There's no judgment here. Whatever you're going through, whatever choices you're making, we just want to make sure you're doing them safe, that you have the proper education, and that we can give you full services, not just I'm homeless, but I also have an addiction, or I'm going through some personal things. Mental health is here, housing is here, community clinics are here. We want to help the whole person in whatever way that they need. It's really important that most people don't think about it at first. We all live our lives on a regular basis, and you don't often think about it. Maybe you get off the subway and you see someone homeless or in need, and you're like, oh no, I wish I can help, but you continue on with your life. And one of the real important things that Housing Works did, Charles King, our CEO and founder, during COVID, everyone was trying to deal with it, but we all had roofs over our heads. We all were home and were able to isolate and take care of ourselves, but no one really thought about the homeless folks on the street and what happened if they were sick or needed services and needed some shelter. And so we partnered with the city and opened up these shelters where people could come in, get the medical services that they need, and isolate safely with the services and have a bed in some place. And I feel people really need to think about, you have a long day at work and you're like, I can't wait to go home. But the people that we're serving don't have that. They don't have some place for refuge, or when it's cold outside, we live in New York, it's freezing, our winters are tough, and a lot of our clients and the community that we're looking to help and serve, they're looking for shelter any way they can, in a subway, underneath, an awning in the street or construction, and it's terrible. And then you see the folks who go through our services and then they get housing and they start off with short-term housing, but then get all these case management services, and then once you have stability in home, you're able then to get other services, right? Like once I have a home and I can take a shower, I can sleep somewhere safe, and I don't have to worry about what's going on the street and if someone's going to take my belongings. Some homeless folks, everything they have, they're with them on the street, and anyone can pass by, and so having a space for yourself is really important. And so when our clients come in and they have their home and they're like, I have a bed and I have a room, and they get this confidence in them back, that also gives them this additional, just you can edit around this, momentum, to do more, momentum to do more, to go and get treatment for whatever they're going through, and to find a job, and to continue their stability. And they're proud and they're happy and they're not ashamed, and they shouldn't be. Like, everyone has gone through things in life. And I think a lot of people look at homeless folks and just assume they didn't do anything. And it's like, you don't know what anyone went through. There are many reasons that people are homeless. Any one of us can go through a bad time and end up unhoused and homeless. And what then? So it's really important to not just judge folks when you see them on the street, or even people love to associate homeless folks with substance use, and they're on the street and they're looking for some kind of comfort. And so that's why, we're there to help them and give them any kind of service. Mental health is also a really big thing. I'm glad there's been a lot more light shined lately on mental health. We all go through it. I think people who have high-powered jobs and whatever it is that you're doing, like mental health, seasonal depression is a big deal. And any of these things can really throw you off your path, and you can end up in a situation. So it brings me joy. Clients come in all the time, and they're so fresh and full of life. They have housing, they have an internship, they're learning new things, and they're like, Nancy, like, look at me, I just got a new apartment. And I'm like, did you? It's incredible. And these are amazing people. The clients that we serve are amazing. They're smart individuals, they're focused, they're passionate, they're caring, they want to fight for what's right. And so it's something we should all really look to try to help and aid in. Recently I was speaking with one of our clients who is now an employee at our organization, Dan, and Dan was on drugs and homeless for 17 years on the street. They went through a lot. They were addicted, and they found Housing Works. Their family let them go and cut ties because they were on drugs and also gay. And they all turned their backs on Dan, and Dan was like, they were really having a hard time on the streets. And someone told them about Housing Works, and they came in and found some of our services and started with our clinic in downtown Brooklyn and began getting services, and then was introduced to our Ready to Work program and went through a 6-week internship, and was able to then go back to school, and it just completed their master's in social work. And if you can see, Dan is incredible. You wouldn't even know, honestly. I met Dan and we were just chatting about their journey, and I was shocked. Dan is a beautiful individual. They have a family now and had just recently got hired into one of our master social work programs. Say it almost like an end thing, like Dan is now one of our social workers in our programs. And sorry, it's okay. Dan is now one of our social workers at our organization and doing fantastic. They see clients, and I think one of the really important things is Dan has lived experience, which helps relate to our clients and provides that extra bit of service and care that our clients really need. When Housing Works was first started, if you know our founders and many of you know our story, it's a lot of people were turned away if they found out they had HIV or they were positive. And so everyone really looked at you almost like you were not human and didn't want to provide you with any kind of services. Jobs, if they knew back then, wouldn't hire you. You really just weren't able to get any kind of up in life just because you had HIV. And so because of this, if you don't have employment, that makes you lose your housing. You're unable to function properly because you don't have any income. And also people are treating you like you're not worth anything. And that also has a great impact on your mental health. And so I think many people need to understand that all of this ties together. Whether or not, that's why I think we have all the programs and services that we do. If you're coming to us and you have HIV or other illnesses, mental health is a big issue and you're suffering and need medication, and also you're just looking for some kind of skills to get up in life and to prosper and do better, and then you don't have housing, it all really comes together and really can break down a person. All of this really affects your life. You're suffering from an illness, you don't have anywhere to go, you're unhoused, You're suffering also because this takes a toll on your mentality. And also, when you're going through all of this, you start to have food insecurity, and that's why our food pantry and some of the programs that we have really affect. Some of our programs are ADHD program. You can come in, there's a kitchen, and you can come and get meals. It's really important. People are on the street and you're hungry. I personally, if I don't eat, I'm not okay. And so I can only imagine everyone else going through, and you're unable to have a guaranteed meal. You're homeless. You're going through some sickness, you don't have any support from family. This is important. We all need to come together. These all come together and really can keep someone down. And I'm glad to be a part of an organization that provides all these services where we treat the whole person, whatever it is. If you're homeless, if you have no way to eat, if you are sick and you need services, if you're looking to advance yourself, you can come to us and get all the services that you need. So as the world continues to change and people are going through things, we're here to make sure that we can give you the support in any facet that is needed. Charles King, one of our founders, is one of the most compassionate humans I've ever met. Honestly, I think anyone who's ever met Charles King can attest to the fact that he is an incredible human being. Charles really lives the mission here at Housing Works. And I think when Housing Works was first started, because Charles went about it in such a unique way and there was no other organization looking to do what we were looking to do, that DIFFA was interested and decided something good is going on here. I'm going to invest and fund and support this organization. Charles really is setting the tone, and the mission is to show other people that if we can do it here in New York, it can be done anywhere in the world. And we've done that, and we've grown so much over the 20 years. And DIFFA being here from the start and really starting with the funding and supporting us from the very beginning shows you how aware they are and really how invested they are in the mission and the work that needs to be done to change the world.